the right seat and know for sure. That's safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
It's the end of the fiscal year, and that means budget cuts and number crunching. Now's the time of the year you're evaluating your expenses, planning your budget, and finding ways to save money and increase efficiency to maximize profits. Dex Imaging understands and delivers. Call Dex Imaging today for a free document management evaluation. Cutting your office expenses is as easy as calling Dex Imaging, 352-266-0333. Start saving money today and increase your bottom line with Dex Imaging. Printers, copiers, and fax machines that increase office productivity and save you money. No one understands your bottom line better. Call Dex Imaging today, 352-266-0333, or check them out on the web at deximaging.com. That's DEXimaging.com. Or call 352-266-0333 for your free document management evaluation today.
On this episode of What Not to Do, brought to you by
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
Why is there a mariachi band in... Wait, are you digging up the yard again?
It's not what it looks like.
Oh, really? Because it looks like you're tearing up my yard right over the septic tank.
Okay, so maybe it's a little bit what it looks like. See, what happened was...
Wait, let me guess. The septic is backing up and you thought you were Fix-It Guy again and would take it upon yourself and dig up my yard?
That's Mr. Fix-It Guy.
Uh-huh. What did we say the new rule was?
No eBay when you're not home.
Well, yes, but not that one. If water runs through it...
I know, they do it. But this is septic.
Yes, Mike Scott Plumbing does septic.
I knew that.
Uh-huh. 866-314-4443.
I know. 866-314-4443. Got it.
And what's with the mariachi band?
You didn't say anything about Amazon. On next week's episode of What Not to Do.
Come on, an elephant?
Robin, how do you like my design?
You're designing a box?
That's not a box. It's a doghouse.
Rough draft for your rough? Sounds like you need personal service.
I do?
Yes, to print the blueprints. See Mark at the Personal Service Center. He can print blueprints, notarize permit applications, print and mail out invoices, and even provide great-looking business cards.
Personal Service Center. That's the one on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, right?
Just look for the yellow signs. Your Pedigree Palace will be a reality in no time.
All right, 5 minutes after 8 o'clock. Beautiful Monday morning. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for tuning your radio to WOCA The Source. Robin and I are here. The phone lines are not working right now as far as I can tell, and so if you normally would be calling in, you will not be able to. However, I do have the WOCA Facebook page up, and if you want to send a message, you are welcome to do that. It's a little bit inconvenient, but that's pretty much the only thing I have here right now. The segment that we're in right now is normally when we would speak to Galen Unold and on his behalf in his absence, and it's actually not his absence, I'm sure he's out there somewhere, his inability to phone in. We want to make sure that we mention that there is no blood supply unless individual people decide to. Individual persons? I don't know. If you decide to donate blood, then there's a blood supply, and we need lots and lots of people to do that regularly in order to have a blood supply. And Galen and Tom Davis and all of those at Life South do such a great job to make sure that message keeps getting out there. And WOCA's role in this is very, very long. We've done this with them for a very, very long time.
Oh, yeah.
But we could not do it without sponsors. We have two great ones, Palm Garden of Ocala and Penn Flooring, so I'll mention them real quickly. And then, of course, we will give you details about the services and products that they both provide in just a little bit. The topic that I had for Galen was things you can't see past. And it's an interesting topic because I've wondered about this myself sometimes. if you can't see past, or here's a great example. I can't see past Christmas when it's December 3rd. I can't see past Christmas.
Oh, okay.
I can't. Once Christmas is done, then okay, now it opens up. I sort of couldn't see past the Strawberry Festival.
Yeah.
Because you can, but you can't. But take it to a more profound level. Things you can't see past. Let's say, for example,
relationships. Sometimes you're so in love with someone that you can't see that maybe they're messing around on you or something.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Right. If you really, well, that's true.
Yeah, if you really love somebody, you don't see the signs.
If you really love somebody and they're doing something wrong, you can't see past that love.
Right. That's profound.
That's very, very profound. And it might be the only hope that some people have.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if you're accused of something and it really looks like you've done it.
Yeah.
But you didn't do it. Then that person who loves you unconditionally is your only hope. That's interesting. But anyway, but things we really can't see past. Let's say for example, you really are a skilled carpenter, and you could build a house with your eyes blindfolded, right? But somewhere along the line, somebody made you feel like you could be like the next best football player or something.
Yeah.
So and you've got a passion for, you just can't live without football, but you've really got this skill. And you hear about this all the time. When you have famous people who've successfully become very, very famous at something, you find out that they've got something else going for them that they could have easily have done.
Yes.
It's almost like God gives you a gift, and then or more than one gift, and you choose one over the other. And so you're in love, not in the sense of like a romantic thing, but you're in love with your one talent more than you are with the other talent. Does that make sense? You can't see it. You can't see that you've got this amazing ability to do something, to build a house in my example's case.
Yeah, because it's something that comes naturally and you just don't think it's special.
So Robert Frost, the poet, wrote a poem called Mending Wall. And in the poem, he wrote, "Moves in darkness, not of woods only, and the shade of trees." And he paints the picture of a man blinded by tradition.
Oh.
And he builds walls where no walls are needed simply because he has always done that. So tradition prevents you from doing certain things. Habits prevent you from seeing beyond certain things.
Oh, there you go. There you go. That's true.
We had a discussion. I can't remember who it was, but we had a discussion regarding how young people bring more to the world than just their youthfulness. They bring change.
Yes.
And a lot of times us older people, because we were not always older people, so if you remember when you were younger and you were the one trying to initiate change, but older people sometimes, I don't want to change,
Yeah.
So when you look out the window and you see people, I'll never understand the pants down below your butt. I'll never understand that whole tradition.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm not trying to be judgmental, good or bad. I'm just saying that we see that and wonder, We see the proliferation, is that a good word, of tattoos, lots of tattoos?
Yes.
We see lots of tattoos and we wonder why, how did that happen? And we're not being judgmental in this case. We can be, we have been. But in this case, I'm just saying, is it possible that we can't see it because it violates our own habit, our own set of what is supposed to be, what is normal? One of the things I think that I'm speaking to is this country, America, because we have always been a country that says, if you come here and you want to wear, a beanie, because that's part of your tradition, your religion, go ahead, you wear your beanie,
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have a right to say, you got a funny looking beanie.
Exactly.
So it is a weird mixture here. You have the right to be here, and we respect that right, but you have to respect our right also, and we just might make fun of you.
Yeah.
Until we realize that making fun of you is not good.
Exactly.
It's not, making fun is not funny.
And change, I mean, our church is going through a change right now, St. John Lutheran Church, and it's a wonderful change because we have a contemporary service on Saturday nights.
Contemporary meaning what? Just define that.
It's not the traditional service where it's the old hymns and the tried and true things that were of our grandparents' generation.
So that's the traditional one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is contemporary where it's upbeat songs and, you have a praise team that
Right.
plays instruments and stuff. And then that was at 9:00 on Sundays. Well, now Pastor Jeffrey Shanks, he's marvelous. He's a brand new pastor. Him and his wife Annette, they're fabulous. They came in, they moved the 9:00 service back to 8:30. And then at 10:45 is the new service. It's called The Table. It's a more relaxed service. You go into the other place called the Grace Place, and all the parishioners or whoever wants to attend sits around these tables. You have the praise team playing some songs. You sing the songs. Then the pastor gives the sermon. He has some videos, and then you're actually speaking with the people around the table what your opinion is of what's going on. And it's changed. And yesterday was the very, very first one. And, people have to, the only way you can embrace change is to make yourself experience everything, and then you form an opinion. So I think that's kind of tough, too, when churches try to expand and get more members, especially young ones, to come in. So you accommodate everybody.
So what was the general feel? Were people blinded to the change, reluctant to the change, or, what?
Yeah, there were people reluctant to the change, but some of them who were reluctant to it showed up anyway to see what it was all about, and I think they're going to embrace it. I think it's wonderful.
But what you've illustrated right there very well is that sometimes habits or tradition may blind us from seeing something else.
Right, exactly.
I do this to myself all the time with food. I go to a burger place and they've got a new thing on the menu. No, thanks, I'll get this. And my tradition prevents me from. It's just like the whole Starbucks phenomenon. It's like I go to Starbucks and I get a regular coffee. Mm-hmm. They've got so many choices.
Yep.
But tradition blinds
Macchiatos.
me. Yes, that's up. All right. So another thing that blinds us, in addition to tradition and habits. Mm-hmm. Simply being busy, right?
Yes.
Here's a perfect example. We were busy planning for the Strawberry Festival, which was a wonderful event, right? Mm-hmm. We were busy planning for the First Friday Art Walk. We were busy planning for judging the Student Media Festival.
That's right, exactly.
That we were blinded to the fact that there was a Springs Fest happening. I'm just speaking about you and me now, not the town.
Yeah, you and I didn't know about it, weren't made aware of it.
So what happens if here's a typical scenario you always see, like maybe in a sitcom or something. Okay, Dad comes down for breakfast and he gets his coffee real quick and he says, "Okay, kids, have a great day," and he gets to work and then he leaves the door and then the child says to the mom, "I didn't get to tell Dad that my hamster died." I didn't get to tell Dad that I was excited because today we're going on a field trip, and so we become busy, right? And that blinds us too. That also is something we can't see past our own agenda, our own busyness, right?
Yeah.
That whole notion of stop and smell the roses is part of what this is about. If you and we can all relate to this. We've all done this.
Yeah,
We've all been so entrapped in our own little worlds that we forget to sometimes let down our guard and listen to somebody else. Mm-hmm. Somebody else. The tiniest voice in the room really wants to be heard.
Oh, certainly. Certainly.
I often have thought that when we do radio shows, the phone, which is not open right now, is one of the best ways to make this happen. And as guests who come into the studio or who showcase their talents and the things that are important to them, that's why I like to do that. That's why I've always liked the idea that I answer the phone. Some people say, "Well, how come you don't have a phone screener?"
Yeah.
Because now today's an exception because the phone's not working. But I like the idea that the phone rings, there's no caller ID, I don't know who's calling. Now once in a while it'll show up on here somebody's name. but usually it's just a number, and I don't have people's numbers memorized.
Right.
And so I will just answer. I want to hear what you have to say. I don't know. I don't care what it is in advance. I don't care who you are. I just want to ask you. And then the same thing is true for the guests. Of course, with everybody, there's always a time thing. You can't have somebody on for 4 hours. Some people want 4 hours, but
Right.
But if you've got something going, I don't want anybody to think that they are excluded from our show if they've got something to promote. So I don't want our own agenda to be making it impossible to see past our agenda and therefore not see anybody else's.
Exactly.
It's what makes us a better country, I think. And the inability to see past our own way of life, the inability is what makes other countries that are so closed-minded, closed-minded.
Right.
And you always hope that the young people in those countries will change things. But they start getting older, they start getting regimented, they start to believe that this is the only way, and things don't change. And you hear about it all the time, and it's probably one of the root causes of war.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a little break, and we'll be right back. We've got some commercials to do. This is the segment normally occupied with our conversation with Galen Hunald. The topic is the same exact topic I would have had with Galen, except that he's not able to contribute to it. I would love to have heard his thoughts on this.
Oh, yeah. That would have been wonderful.
There are some more things that I think get in the way of seeing past things. So I want to continue this on the other side of the break. But in the meantime, just remember this, that there is a
kiss is still a kiss.
A kiss is still a kiss. And blood is still blood. So if you can donate blood, please donate blood. Life South has a website that'll help you find out where the Bloodmobile is. It is lifesouth.org.
Yes.
Correct?
Yep.
And you can also go down on Silver Springs Boulevard. I think that would be, the 1600 blocks?
1607 East Silver Springs Boulevard is the address.
So there you go.
16th Avenue and East Silver Springs Boulevard.
There you go. And there, donate blood over there. And if without blood donors, there is no blood supply. So thank you, Palm Garden of Ocala, for sponsoring this segment. Palm Garden is a health and rehabilitation center. Long-term skilled nursing care is one of their specialties. They also provide short-term rehabilitation care. The therapists are top-notch. The equipment is 21st century. The culinary staff is like that of a five-star restaurant. The activity staff is like that of a resort.
Yes.
The maintenance staff keeps the place clean, smelling really good. You got to see it for yourself. Take a tour of Palm Garden of Ocala. They are at 2700 Southwest 34th Street, and their phone number is 854-6262. By the way, when you're taking that tour, just say, I heard about this on WOCA, and I want to thank you for sponsoring the Life South Blood segment that they do every morning with Galen Hunald.
Yeah, and see Jan, because she is the fabulous person to take you on a tour.
And Penn Flooring, thank them also for us. If you get over there, they have a showroom at 1201 Southwest 17th Street. Go to the showroom and see how you can improve your home, re-beautify, remodel your home, your office from the floor up. We have been walking on the carpets, the wood flooring. It's not real wood, it's artificial wood. But we've been using their products for the entire time we've been in this studio. Last week it was cleaned and made back to new because we have a lot of traffic here, so of course we needed to have it cleaned. But it looks just like it did. So in other words, there was a testament to its being durable. Thank you, Penn Flooring. And also thank Silverback Restoration. They are the ones who cleaned it. Jarvis Palmer, thank you. If you ever need your floor cleaned, whether you have a home or your office, Silverback Restoration is the place to call. Penn Flooring is the place to go for new flooring. And we'll take a little break and be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Monday, it'll be mostly cloudy and breezy with a shower or two and a high of 72 to 76. And some clearing Monday night, low 55 and a few inland spots, 63 along the coast. A mix of sun and clouds for Tuesday with a chance of a shower at the coast, the high 78 to 82. For Wednesday, times of sun and clouds again. There could be a shower along the coast, high 80 to 84. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Palm Garden wants to get to the heart of the matter. If you've been in the hospital as a cardiac patient, maybe you have a pacemaker or congestive heart failure or an arrhythmia, or perhaps you're a heart bypass patient, then consider Palm Garden as your rehab choice. With proven outcomes second to none, Palm Garden fixes broken hearts. Call today at 854-6262. That's 854-6262.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
More women are waiting until their 30s to have their first child. But that means wannabe grandparents have to wait longer to start spoiling future grandkids. Thousands of people were surveyed recently, and the majority feel the most stress when their phone battery dips below 20%. We form the strongest, most emotionally supportive friendships with our colleagues, and that's especially true at intense, high-stress workplaces.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Radio gets results.
Hi, this is Leah Caruso with Strive Physical Therapy Centers. One of the things that Strive does is we try to track how people learn about us and what they hear in the community about us. So that's one of our questions. And a lot of times they said they've heard us on the radio, or they heard something on the radio that really touched them or a member of their family. WCA has been extremely helpful in Strive's goals to educate the community.
Radio gets results. That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 572-2510. That's 572-2510.
Whether you're just starting out in your career or ready to make a change, being a commercial pilot is within your reach. The FAA has predicted that in the next few years, the number of planes in the sky will double, and that means a lot more jobs in aviation. Ocala Aviation has teamed up with an accredited university, enabling you to get a college degree in aviation while training to be a commercial pilot. And with options like financial aid, grants, and scholarships, it's never been a better time to get your new career in aviation started today. For more information, call me at Ocala Aviation, 352-861-7484.
23 minutes after 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. 56 degrees temperatures today. Our forecast to climb to 74 degrees, so it'll stay on the mild side. I don't want to say cool. 74 is not a bad temperature. It's 2 degrees more than the Silver River.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
We were having this discussion yesterday about when you're in a canoe, a metal-bottomed canoe, and you've got bare feet against the metal bottom, and you're in one of the cool rivers, like the Silver River or the Rainbow River, and then you cross over, like from the Silver River into the Ocklawaha River or the Rainbow River into the Withlacoochee River, the temperature of the Withlacoochee and the Ocklawaha is a little bit warmer than the temperature of the Silver and the Rainbow, because this is my theory, because it hasn't been exposed to the sun for as long, because the Rainbow River is relatively short before it hits the Withlacoochee, which has been hundreds of miles in the sun, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing with the Ocklawaha. It's hundreds of miles in the sun by the time you cross over from the Silver to the Ocklawaha. So the water is actually warmer right in that river. I don't know what the temperature is, but anyway.
No, but they say the springs are 72 degrees. The
springs
Rainbow Springs.
Right, and so therefore the water coming out of it would be. But obviously, the further downstream you get, the more time it's had in the sun. And if it's a warm, sunny day, then by the time it gets hundreds of miles, then that water is no longer 72, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? The Mississippi River. It's
Oh,
probably colder in Mississippi than it is up in wherever it starts.
Yeah.
All right, so we're talking about things that blind us. This is the segment that we normally use to have a conversation with Galen Unold from Life South, and he reminds us to donate blood, and I am doing that for him on his behalf to remind us all to donate blood. One of the things that blinds us is just being comfortable. You might not see some of the problems, or some of the here not problems, but maybe opportunities. You might not see opportunities in your own job because you're comfortable with it. You do your daily routine. You don't see an opportunity to do something new.
Right.
You know, then a new person comes on board. A young person joins the company, and they see something that you just never saw, and And suddenly that new person is getting accolades and you're feeling a little jealous because, oh my gosh, you know?
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to step back and say, just force yourself to see things differently. Just force yourself.
That's right.
And another thing to force yourself to see is when you have this group mentality. I've often thought this, that my group believes, what's a good example? Okay, here's the really good example. This is weird. When I lived in New York, and I have to go back not just to the place, but to the time, because I haven't been there as a resident in so long, I don't know that they still do this. But whenever a man would greet a woman, they would kiss each other on the cheek. Everybody kissed each other. I remember this as a kid. It didn't matter if it was your aunt or the next door neighbor that you were friendly with, whatever. Hello, Mrs. Costanzo. You get a kiss on the cheek just to say hello, right?
Oh, okay.
In Florida, nobody did that, and so you had to learn to not do that. Not that one is right or not one is wrong. Another good example is yes, ma'am, yes, sir.
Right.
You become so blinded by your way that you think the other way is wrong. Right?
Exactly.
And that lady who was condescending toward you from Massachusetts, we had a guest from Massachusetts who didn't like you saying yes, ma'am to her. In fact, was verbally abusive to you.
Yes, she was.
In a minor way, I guess you could be fair to say that.
That's okay.
But it was like she had no clue what the world was like outside of her own little bubble.
Yes, exactly.
So I think those are the things we can't see past. And I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting topic. I had I was reading a little bit about that poem that I started it off with, the Robert Frost poem called Mending Wall.
I like that poem.
And if you can't see past the wall, then there's a lot you're missing. If you believed that you could never escape the binds of Earth, or whatever they used to say, right? Then we would have never gone to the moon. If you believe that mankind would never know how to fly, would never be able to, we would have never had the airplane. So I think sometimes that's part of it, and I don't know what I've contributed in any way by having this conversation, but that was my topic with Galen.
It's a great topic. It's a thought-provoking topic.
So, donating blood. If it's in your religion that donating blood is something that you should not be doing, if you believe that God doesn't want you to do that, then there's nothing we can say to change your mind.
No.
But at the same time, if you ever need blood, you might be very happy that people did choose to step up to the plate and donate blood. So on that note, go to lifesouth.org. You'll have any of your questions answered, or go down to their location on Silver Springs Boulevard. The address again?
1607 East Silver Springs Boulevard.
1607 East Silver Springs Boulevard. And thank you, Palm Garden and Penn Flooring. We'll take a little break. We'll be right back with News Bites. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Some key members of Congress say they'll go along with President Trump's request to look into his accusation that former President Obama had phones in Trump Tower wiretapped during the campaign.
So far, there has been no evidence to back up the president's claims. Many are left wondering why the president would make these claims if they weren't true. And the FBI is reportedly asking the Justice Department to deny Mr. Trump's claims.
Fox's Kelly Wright. White House officials say they're on track to roll out a revised ban this morning on travelers from mostly Muslim nations, removing parts of the leg cords to block the first ban. At the Atlanta Motor Speedway on Fox.
For Roger Penske and Ford, Brad Keselowski wins the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500.
Kevin Harvick led the first two stages before Keselowski pounced. Kyle Larson was second. Fox News, we report, you decide.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Time starts now. Name one.